Okay, here we are in part 2. Now we're going to talk about different ways to read. So now, like when you're reading just to be open, that's one thing. But then you can also read with a plan in mind. Reading to be open is reading just to be open and being able to take what the defender gives you and react to that is fine. But sometimes the defender is really good at being able to sell you something, talk you into something. So you have to have a plan of your own. You might not have a whole in mind, but you might have a plan or a way you're going to read. And these kind of things I talk about as playbooks kind of thing, or different plays that you can run. Most shooters I find, they already have a certain way they read. They like to kind of wait for, say this guy's moving over here like this. They like to wait for that guy to bump, and then they want to shoot at the man. I call that's man shooting. So once that bump comes and they move, you want to just, the shooter will shoot at the man as he's moving off, and that's called man shooting. So you're shooting at the man, hoping you've kind of read that he's going to come off that hole. That's man shooting. So that's one way that you can read the defense. You can go, okay, I want to start off shooting man, so I want to look for a lot of motion and look to see if I can see a particular pattern where he comes into a hole and then always leaves the hole open as soon as he comes into it, kind of thing. Like if the guy's switching a lot, kind of thing like this, switching a lot, coming over there. Now, if you read that, you would have seen he was switching on this side a lot, so there wasn't much of a man shot there. But whenever he brought the goalie over here and pulled it in, that would be a good man shot to choose. So he went over there, pulled right there. I'd see that goalie out there, and I'd trust that he's coming off the hole because he did it before. Coming off the hole, and I'd shoot right at that man, and then I'd shoot right at the motion right there when he came off, and then that would be the way I would be shooting then. Another idea is to be shooting, reading to shoot at the hole. So if a guy's doing this kind of switching a lot, and there's a lot of switching, not a lot of switching, and sorry, there's a lot of switching and a lot of switching into the same holes, or there's not a lot of motion, kind of very still defenses, very methodical kind of defenses like that, where one hole somewhere is left open for at least a second, pretty much over here like this kind of thing. You see that pole side's been open for a while. Now they'll go over here. Maybe he'll leave, very stationary. That type of defense works well against a man shooter. Works well against someone that likes to shoot at the man because the men aren't moving a lot. Or if they are moving, they're switching into the same holes that they're coming out of. So that's another kind of hard defense to read when you're shooting at a man. So then here you would probably want to be shooting at a hole against that type of defense. So now it's about you're reading the defense. You're kind of being open to still, you haven't decided on a particular hole you're going to shoot, which, push, middle, or pull, but your method of reading is decided. So you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna read for a hole here, so he's gonna move around a lot, switch, move around a lot, switch. So but you read that, and then you can think, well, once you did that switch, that hole over here on the push side was open quite a bit. So that would be like a hole read, where you see a lot of motion, whatever. As soon as you did this, he left that one side open for a while. You shoot at it then. A hole shooting is like the hole became open. It's still open. You shoot into the open hole. It's not the hole was like bang. It's more about it's over there. He comes across and he doesn't come back. So then you shoot at it. That's a hole shot, a hole shooting. And if you can vary between shooting at men and shooting at holes, you really throw defenders for fits, because a lot of defenders like to think shooters, or even passes for that matter, really have one way they prefer to shoot and pass, and that's generally true. But I found that in order to beat anyone at any given time, you have to be able to shoot both ways. Some defenders are really good at baiting man shooters, like Bobby Diaz is one of the best in the world at this, and has been for many years. He's got a very good stationary, very smart, intelligent, really hard to read defense, but he'll leave a given hole for a long time. He's like, I don't care, you can hit it, and you just have to, wait him out and really, be able to shoot at that hole that he's leaving and be able to recognize where is that hole. And then other defenders, like guys who are really fast, would do a lot of shuffling kind of stuff. Then that's a good kind of shooter. You'd be able to shoot at that as shooting at a man. If there's a lot of shuffling, a lot of movement, you just have to wait till that man stops and then bang, shoot at it, kind of thing. Another way to read is this is one I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I've used it in the past, mixing it up as well, because I do like to mix up the way that I shoot. is reading for what the defender wants, and I call this defender wants. So I read the defense because the defense, the guy over there has a mind. He's moving his men around in a certain pattern for a reason, and he's trying to talk you into something. And so I look at the defense, I go, okay, what is he trying to do? What is he trying to talk me into? So I'm reading it for what does he want me to shoot? So if he's like moving over here, and he's coming over here, and then like he's over there, moving over there, and kind of thing, and he's really kind of working on that one side, I'm kind of thinking, you know, if I was shooting man there before, I'm kind of thinking he wants me to shoot man on this side over here somewhere. So now I'm going to think, okay, no, I'm not going to, you know, based on what he's trying to tell me to do, of course I'm not going to do it. I'm going to shoot somewhere else to where I want, kind of thing. So I would have shot pull there if I was reading that type of defense. If I thought the defender wanted me to shoot push on a certain motion, I'd shoot, you know, either at the same place for a different reason or somewhere else on the same reason, if that makes sense. Another way to read is to do just live reads. And live reads are like, you know, you're just watching. You've read the defense for a live read. Sometimes it's a pre-read, but sometimes it's kind of like you're kind of just you have a hole in mind, but now you're waiting for the exact moment, the very next moment when that hole comes open. You're just going to live read. You're going to just shoot right into it, really hard with a lot of confidence and not any hesitation whatsoever. Because being able to do a live read and hesitating is you'll kill yourself. But so a live read comes a lot really together on the 3-bar as well. It's you know, you just kind of you pick a certain segment of time, say 3 seconds, like say the second of 9 second to 12 second. You kind of count yourself to 9. Then within those 3 seconds, you're kind of saying, okay, the first time I see that push side open, I'm going at it. So this works well when a defender is really, you know, when he's maybe talking you into things. So you really ignore the defense entirely for like 9 seconds. You just kind of go through your motions, you know, la-di-da, whatever. No, I'm not really looking at you. I even sometimes look at the floor to even make sure I'm not looking at the defense, make sure I'm not falling into their baits. But then there comes a 3 second, you know, window where I'm like, is that push open? Is it push open? Yep. You know, kind of thing. Where now you've given yourself a 3 second window where the defender has been trying to talk you into something for like a whole 9 seconds now. Where now you're doing a live read for what, you know, for a given hole. So that's a very quick, you know, read, decide, execute cycle, but still it can be very effective. Same thing on the 5-bar, which I find, which I think a lot of people do this. They'll kind of play around with the ball, you know, just go through the normal cycle. They're not really reading the defense at all, but then when it comes time to late in the count, you know, they're kind of, is the up open, is the up open, is the up open, you know, kind of thing, if I could execute the pass. But yeah, something like that. Same thing applies here. Same thing applies in the back as well. I think for shooters in the back, it's quite a bit different. It's all about, because you've got pretty big gaps to shoot at and pretty big options to decide against. So for me, reading is just about, you know, where is he when I shoot? Not where is he when I'm not shooting, when I'm reading. Where is he when I shoot? It's that kind of read. Is he, you know, if I see that and I'm reading it, I'm going, okay, if he's going to be still, I can just bust it up right down through this lane here and maybe even go down straight down through there. But if I think he's jumping into that hole, you know, like if I think this 5-bar is going to be jumping out here, then what I'm reading for is trying to imagine, because this is what you see, but now you have to kind of imagine this is what you're shooting on. So you kind of have to adjust your shot selection based on what you're reading. Something like that. Let me try that again. Yeah, whatever. But so that's basically different ways to read, and also a little bit of different ways to decide, because there's different types of playbooks, like being able to shoot man, be able to shoot hole, be able to shoot for what the defender wants, be able to do a live read or quick shots even. Sometimes you can even come into it, you've been shooting at 12 seconds for, you know, a whole 2-3 games, and your plan is for 3 seconds, for the first 3 seconds, what's open? Bang. You know, and they're not ready for it. They're doing their bait and whatever, they think they're setting you up for something, but then you're shooting on them quick. And you did it on purpose, and you did it also with you know, pre-reads before as to, well, when I set up, what was open before? You set up, now you do 12 second, you kind of pay attention for this side, okay, what's open? You know, you might do that every ball for a game or two, and then later on within the game, you get that ball, you've known how they set up, you know, and you can really just rip it with confidence, and it's not a guess either. Some defenders be like, oh, you just guessed, whatever, you know, you